Hololive Indonesia has seen a lot of things happen in the 4 years they have been here. They've introduced 3 generations thus far, each of which have had their shining stars and their glorious moments. The legacy of this branch remains iconic 4 years later, and rightfully so. Yagu recruited talented individuals who have not only just idol potential, but also the entertainment value and overall likability that had their fans fall in love with them. Now it's important to know that we would not be here without our first generation, Area 15, who started this branch in the first place, and just had their 4th anniversary at the time of recording this video. So I'm here to talk about why Area 15 is so important and how they had successful and impactful careers thus far. Hi, I'm your degenerate VTuber Yui Taichibana who wants to be your sunshine. This is the story of how Area 15 came to be. First, before we dive into how their first year went, it's important to note, before Hololive Indonesia was launched, the country had barely any holding power in the VTuber landscape. They weren't being as represented as Japan or the United States, where it was just starting to take off. Indonesia was in need of a main group of idols who could represent their hold on the VTuber community, and Yagu took the risk of investing in a country that some may think is quite a unique situation. Best Girl went through with the plans to launch an Indonesian branch, and Area 15 was born, the first generation of the branch. Now at this point, Hololive English did not exist yet. The closest we got to an English VTuber was Coco, who was arguably making waves for the company, and the clips that was going viral of her was making the foreign audience gravitate towards the VTuber landscape. There was also Hoshinova with her oftentimes degenerate content and also bilingual commentary that had people going, okay, this VTuber thing seems interesting. The fact that Hololive Indonesia was going to continue that was going to help them in a big way. Risu, Moona, and Iofifteen are each fluent in English and served as another turning point for Hololive where they were no longer just a Japanese thing, but for the world to see as well. Ayunda Risu proved herself to be 100% waifu material, being someone who was not only a sweetheart, but also a fun gal to be around. Being the squirrel girl from a magical forest she is, Risu won people over with her personality and running gags like the non-stop Nut November event she held for 3 years. It is said that she does VTubing as a way to help pay for her family, which I find that to be pretty nice for her to do. It shows how selfless she is and that she does this not just to entertain us, but to also provide for others as well. Now here's a fun fact about Risu. For those who may not know, Ayunda Risu is the being of 2 souls. Her original name was Tupaia Splendidula, which translates to splendid squirrel. This is most likely the scientific name of her species, ruddy tree shrew. Risu was the squirrel from a magical forest who got stuck in the human world and was picked up by someone who encouraged her to start a VTuber career, while Ayunda was a witch who owned a squirrel. She used to avoid humans because of how they hated magic, and once she was found, the souls of Ayunda and Risu merged. It's actually no wonder why Risu has this as one of her costumes. It calls back to her lore, and it makes more sense now. Here's one of my favorite quotes from Risu. People nowadays try so much to be different to the point they forget about who they really are and what they really like. Truth is, don't try so hard to be different that it makes you forget who you really are. Twitter could absolutely use this quote right now, but we all know lost causes exist in this world. That doesn't change the impact though of how much this quote means to me. Risu truly is a humble person at heart, and I commend her for what she has brought to the table thus far. Moona Hoshinova is no different. She not only won me over with her musical talent, but I just love the way they designed her. That stone cold face of hers just does things to me. God, that is sexy! Now, it's not just her design that fits the criteria of a college girl who is working to become an idol and a model, but it's her personality and her overall likability that shows just how dedicated Moona is to being an idol. For the longest time, Moona Hoshinova was the most subscribed Hololive Indonesia member before Ollie and Kobo came around. She is also noted for her large appetite. She'll often tweet about food. For example, this one time she ate 12 large pieces of fried chicken in one sitting. This girl is just like me, for real. Now, just like her gen mate Risu, Moona Hoshinova is also the being of 2 personalities, Moona being the human aspect, and Hoshinova, who is a moon goddess aspect with a tendency to speak in a lower pitch. God, I want this girl to dominate me so bad. Bye, bye, bye! Okay, yeah, you can tell Moona is my favorite of Hololive Indonesia by far. I made a whole video about her, that's how much I love her. One thing I didn't bring up in that video though is how much every song of hers means to me. The lyrics to her first song, I No Chisana Yuta, has a beautiful love anthem to a significant other about being grateful for the silver lining that this person has given her. It feels like a love letter to her supporters who have been there since day one, and that is just so lovely for her to release this song. In fact, I think it's one of the more underrated VTuber songs in general. If you haven't heard this song, please check it out. It is beautiful. Other songs like High Tide, which is a trap pop girl boss anthem that shows the badass side to her, and Who's Toxic It's You, which reads like a tribute to 2000s punk where Avril Lavigne and Paramore were the queens. All 6 of her solo songs show that Moona not only has the versatility, but the qualifications and beauty of a diva. She is a talented individual who very much deserves the success she has grinded to earn up to this point. Irani Iofifteen, who I've already talked about in the original Hololive Indonesia video, needs to be brought up again because she matters just as much as the other two in Area 15. To this day, I still advocate that Iofi is an underrated VTuber, but she still has a cult fan base that loves her, no doubt about it. Her dedication to her career is proof that even though you may not be the most popular, it's the friends you make in the company and in the community that makes this time spent worthwhile, and shows the positive character you present to the crowd. She also has the unique character of being an alien princess who was given the name Airani when she first came to Earth. She also claims that she possesses a few powers like creating barriers, communicating via telepathy, and even brainwashing people. Well, if that person looks as cute as this girl, I'd let her brainwash me. But enough of my degeneracy. Iofi is also noted for her comfy streams, whether she is drawing or streaming games. She is someone who I would like to be friends with for sure. In fact, all 3 of Area 15 have that same exact potential. It's also been mentioned that she was homeschooled and that her sister was her only close friend for the longest time. After debuting as a VTuber, she was able to gain more friends, which shows in the collaborations she has done since then, opening her up to a wide range of friendships and bondage that has blessed her with not being alone ever again. And that is the power of the VTuber community. She deserves every bit of it. Now, as I mentioned at the start, Hololive Indonesia just had their 4th anniversary. I want to say congratulations to everyone who has lasted this long, and I hope we get to have another 4 years with them. Without Area 15 being as successful as they are, who knows where Hololive Indonesia would have gone. Thanks to their talents and overall likability, this group has set themselves up as the risk that Yagu took in 2020 that turned out to be a risk that was well worth taking. And that's the story of Area 15 thus far. Thanks for watching this video and like this video. Subscribe to my channel and follow me on Twitter. This is your Sunshine Yui Tachibana, signing out.